to the next step, which is the rudder. Now I've already sized it up against the ship. If I could ever get it to fit, there we go. Put it in its place, and I've marked with a pencil line on here where the tile should be. So we start with a simple tile. I'll put it right on the space like that. So let me just peel this off. Right on there like that, and then I'm just going to check before I finish it off that it is correct, that it looks right. It needs to go just slight. See how that is. If you don't get the first bit right, then the rest of it's wrong. There we go, that's in line. That's fine. That's where it has to go. So take it round. At this rate I can go all the way around. And that'd be right on both sides. Well, that was a little bonus that I wasn't expecting. Taking it all the way around. Don't worry about these edges, as long as the sides are correct, then everything else falls into place. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. It's only a case now working my way down here. I'm not going to film that, I think you can be here forever. I'm going to use all these little bits that I had left over to do this. And we'll see what we can do. Got some nice leftover bits, that's for sure. Just filming these first couple, just so you get the idea. You're going to go all the way down like that. The great thing with this copper tape is you can move it around. I say you can move it around. You can reposition it, but only so many times. It does tend to give up the ghost after a little while, as it's glued. Well, what adhesive there is on it disappears. Here we are. We're going to work our way down the rudder like that. I'll come back to you when it's done. As the next step is to make the hinges for this rudder. You can see I got it all nicely finished. It's not too bad. Now these are the two-part hinges, obviously 8 for the here and 8 for the ship. So first of all, I've got to clean off all these little bits that are on here. I'm going to do these one at a time because they're going to be quite tricky. But let me clean this bits off here and I'll come back to you in a second. Of course, me being me, I start off with the very smallest one. Now, I've cleaned the bits off. Now there's you get some marks on here. 1, 2, 3, 4 marks. I know what they're for. But have I got small enough pliers to get in there do some bending. I'll get rid of this wrap that's lying on the bench. This is from the copper tape. There's another one somewhere. I'll get that in a minute. So, the way they show it, let me just scroll up a bit. I want to make sure I bend it the right way. Yeah. So, this mark we go this way. From this mark, we go that way. From that mark, we go that way. And from this mark, we go towards me now. So, you end up with, not brilliant, but yeah, it's not too bad. Like a little top hat shape, as we used to call it. Don't know why it's not. It doesn't look like, remotely like a top hat, but that's what we used to call this shape when I was bending metal before. So, try and get 90-degree angles on there. It's not. You don't want to bend it too many times because it will break. Right, that's what you start off with. So, if you've done it right, which I haven't, I've bent it on their marks. Okay, we'll see what happens in a second. This is built to their plan. I never thought of looking at how their measurements are. They're a bit out. Okay, it all sorts itself out. So the next thing to do is to get these rounded pliers and put them in here, right in the middle. And then we're gonna make sure it's straight. Then we're gonna bend this around there. And this one. Bit Irish way of doing it, as we say in Scotland. Bend that one round down like that. And the idea being that you will eventually get a curve. Oh yeah, now I see it. Now I see it. What you end up with is that shape. There's the little bit which will hold the wire. And then just tweak that in a bit on either side. That will hold a little piece of wire. That will go around here. Oh yes, look at that. That's where that one's going to go up there like that. And a little piece of wire put in it, and you can see that's not a bad fit. What I will do is I'll get a piece of 1mm brass rod out. I've got some in here somewhere. There it is. Use that as my template. That's going to go in there like that. Look at that. It will be soldered in eventually. But what I'm going to do is just use it as a little template to make sure the shape's right. Nice and tight. And then Once I've got the shape right, I can pull these sides back out. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I hope my elbows and my arms aren't getting in the way. Picked a good example, didn't I, the little one? Here we are. Now, that brush rod's a nice fit in there. Just what you want. It's a 1mm brush rod. You want the 1mm section. And then that should, there, should fit around there with it. And look at that. It was made for it. There you go. That's one done. Now I've got to do that with the other 7. The fun bit's going to come when I have to put the nails in, because I'm going to have to cut the nails. There you go. 8 of those to do. So 7 to do. It's getting progressively bigger as we go along. So I've got to make sure I don't lose them. Okay, I'll come back to you when they are done. I've got the 8 brackets made that go on the rudder. So now I'm going to try it and solder the wire. I'm going to use the same wire that I've been using as a template. It's 1mm brass wire, which is the same wherever you go. What I'm looking for at the moment is just something to put. This is flux. You can see it's like wax. So I put a bit on the wire. I want the solder to be on the wire right where it's going to go in here, and I'm going to put a little bit these sides. I'm going to try and put a little bit in here. The screwdriver's just a little bit too big for this job. What have I got that can do it better? Got all kinds to here. That's probably a better one to put it in with. You can see it's like jelly, but it is soda flux. Now, this should be easy to do. He said that's famous last words. So, soldering iron. And get it past my tripod. Water on the sponge, as always, and turn up the iron just like that, and look at that, the solder runs dead easy. And now, with a bit of luck, all I have to do is rest this on here, touch it with the heat, and it's done. Just like that. No, it's not. I don't want to put too much heat on it. Now it's done. Yep, just like that. You can see that's got the wire. Doesn't look like a very straight piece of wire, but you watch what happens when I trim it. I don't know if you can see the solder joint. It's quite a good joint. It's got to be made straight, obviously. There we go. Now, they say to leave 2 mils sticking out. I'm trying to think what is probably the best way to do this. Yeah, if I trim it, get my good snips out. which are here. So I'm going to trim it flush at the top. Yes. And then measure 2 mils. Just going to put my hand on my little ruler now. There it is. I've got everything close at hand because I'm working under a magnifier. So, 2 mils. It's not very much. From the bracket, 2 mils. I'll give it a bit more. Give it 3 mils. That leaves me a little bit to play with. Watch your ears. Now, hopefully you can see that. And then that will go with all the others around the rudder at the right point. That piece will go into a silver bracket which is on the hull. That's it basically. So I'm going to make 7 more of these pins. And then I'll come back to you. There's 8 brackets, 8 hinge brackets for the rudder, all made, pins in, soldered. Now I've got to do the other halves. I don't know what stage. I know they have to be painted black, and I have to get some nails and cut some nails. So it's going to be fun. I'm just looking down the pictorial now. I guess they get painted black now, and then they get added to the rudder at the right place. Okay, well, I shall paint them black and I'll come back to you. Okay guys, the rudder is done. Looks like these two might have got swapped over, but I don't think so. I can always paint a little black bit on the corner here just to make it look right. Okay, next job is the other half of the rudder hinges, which I'll do now. It'll be tomorrow. For you, a few seconds time, I'll be starting again. Okay, see you soon. Rudder has set. Everything's in. Mostly straight. That one could have done with being up a bit, but never mind. Just hope that the paint, that's on the gold leaf might come off. Oh yeah, comes off dead easy. That's good. You can make it tidy now. Just have to be careful how you scrape it out. A couple of little bits for the paint. Got out the gold. So I keep saying gold, it's copper tape. Not bad at all. A few bits where my over enthusiasm. Yeah, that's it. Right, so now I've got to make the brackets for the other side, which is the, I keep wanting to say the fuselage, the hull. Sorry, I'm an Air Force man, that's why I said fuselage. And it's the same principle. You've got to see if I can do this without walking off the picture. Amazing how many times you do this. That's a little bit hanging out. Just waiting to catch your finger as you scroll past it. As you can hear, my cold, even now, still has not gone. So, okay, let's do this again. You can see the 4 marks. Makes no difference whether you go forward or back, as long as the other one goes the other way. Like that. You can never get them straight, can you? Right. So I just want to see. So that's not too bad. The top hat, that one. And they're in line. Now the fun one. The fun bend. Right in the middle. Push it around. Push it around. I shall have to get another piece of brass rod out. Oh, it's still in there. I'll need a little piece of this. So, on you go. That's what we want to meet. Get my fingers around it. The thing you've got to watch here is that the wire stays in place. Let's see, that the wire just popped out. This is what happens. So then you have to unbend this a bit. Try and get this wire back in. There we go, just the wire back in. Bend that round again. See, the wire's not in. This is what happens. Now the wire's in. And you hope that that's a good fit. Yeah, it's not too bad. I'll fit around the ship. Now, these are all the same size, and they're going to fit like that. That's pretty good. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend them all before I even try to line this up to the ship, because once they're on, they're on. But that's not too bad. I'm quite pleased with that. Okay, I'll carry on and I'll make the other 7 and I'll come back to you. Well, that was fun. That's one side of the rear hinges in. You can see all of these bottom 7 are parallel, and then the top one, of course, you can't make it straight because it would go into there straight where the gun ports are. So that's one side done. I think I'm going to have a pause for my lunch now, and then I'll turn it over and we'll struggle with the other side. You have to work your own system out. What I do is I position it, mark one hole and put a long nail in, but I don't push it all the way in. Then I do the other 3 with the short nails and I glue them in, and then I go back, take the long one out and put another short one back in there. Obviously when you get up here you can use long nails, it's not a problem. You've got plenty behind you to catch it in. Just remember to use a drill that's smaller than the nail, so it's got something to grip on. But I put a bit of super glue on it, so you can see I have to do a little bit touching up with my paint as well, but that'll come later when we tidy it up. All these have to be painted yet as well, but I think I can paint them in situ. Hope I can. I'm not leaving them gold. Okay, see you shortly. That's the rudder hinges all neatly nailed in. All I've got to do now is paint them up and make them match the other half. Probably touch up the paint on this hinge at the top here where I just knocked it on paint off. Wasn't too bad a job. It's taken all afternoon. Another one of these jobs, it just got to take your time. Okay, some decoration on this tomorrow, and it should start looking the part then. Okay, see you later. Welcome back. I have to be careful here because these cables are somehow caught, and when the ship turns over it touches the cable. There we go. But, I don't want it pulling the transformer down on top of the ship. Okay, let's see if I can get you in a position. What I'm going to try is, I'm going to paint these top hinges black, these 3 at the top, and I'm going to leave these in their natural colour and see how it looks. If it looks right, I'm going to change the rudder to match. We'll see what happens. You'll probably now get some music to listen to. I'm trying out some different music. to the workbench. Let's hope you can see what I'm doing. Basically, I'm just going to take the paint off these steadies that take the paint off. Right guys, I've got a few, you see I made 2 holes here and here. I'll still put the zoom in, yeah. So, I need to get my sheet paper out again so I don't lose the parts. It just helps me to see the brass better. There we go. All these parts here to do with the rudder. So, in fact it says on it, rudder blade items. So, I suppose the circles are the first thing to put on because they're the next part calls for a piece of muslin type cloth, which, going by the numbers, this was in this bag, in with cells, and going by the parts list, see if I can show you on the parts list, shown here, it looks like a piece of folded muslin cloth. So that's what this is here. Looks like a piece of muslin anyway. So I have to take a piece of this and have to put it over the back of one of these handles. Now I've got a good one here that I use for my saw, and I think it's probably, oh, it's got magnetic foot. I think that's probably about the right shape, although they show it with a rounded end in the pictorial pictures. I think the idea is that you have to get a shape which will fit over this. So if you look at that, I'll be able to cut that out at the end of there, and that'll look okay. I think it would be better if it was more rounded. I don't think I've got any other knives or tools that I could use in their place. Oops, sorry, I just bashed it. So I'm just putting things away while I can. I don't need them. Get that away. Okay, give me a few minutes to see what else I've got that I could use, that I can see straight away. Now, let's get a rubber band. I've never done anything like this before, so I'll have to see. I don't know how much I need even. Yeah, just a square. Doesn't need a great deal. So let's cut a good helps give you a huge chunk of material when you only need a little bit. I suppose it's better that you mess it up, you can do it again. So. Only you hope that you don't mess it up and you get it right the first time. So put that in the middle, fold it over and over and around and around. Try and make it look kind of like that. Of course, my elastic bands are huge. Even these small ones are huge. There you go, that's it. Right, so slide that down as far as I can. Now it says cover it in glue and then paint it. So first stage is to glue it. Let's see. First of all, will this fit in that hole? Oh, yes, that will fit perfectly in that hole. So I think I've probably picked the right piece. So let's slather it in glue. I don't know if that's a word that you all understand. A good Scottish word. Slather means to cover liberally. And this is going to take about 30 minutes or so to set, at least that. So there's not much else I can get on with while this is setting. So I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to get it all over my fingers. interesting way of doing things. Okay, so I shall leave that standing up over here. Try not to get great big splodges of glue on things. And I'll see you in a few seconds. Right guys, a little bit of construction to do now. A little bit of filing. So I need my knife. I need my ruler. My 6-inch rule, which I think is on the other side. If you can see my 6-inch rule, give us a shout. I can use the big one, it's not a problem. Because what I need to do is measure 2 lengths of 5 centimeters. Let me just get my microphone down where I can use it. So. That link there, we nip it out. Oh. There's the chain out flat. I think the tools are becoming magnetic. Well, pop it. And we'll get another piece the same length. It doesn't matter which mark you use on the ruler, as long as you measure them both to 5. Measure them to 5 and then you take the next link and nip it out. Right, that's 2 pieces of 5mm chain, 2 bits left over, and the rest of this chain can go back in the box. Now I've still got some of this chain left over from a previous model, but I don't know how much I've got, so not too worried. So in there is also a bag of these little rings. So, now these are the ones I'm going to need my soldering iron to close off. I need one on each end of each chain. I'm going to do some more later on for the next stage, which is these things here. In fact, I may as well get them all out now and get them done. This is all part of the rudder work. There's 6 rings. They'll be back in the box in a second. And then these hooks are bigger hooks than, I keep calling them hooks. These rings are bigger rings than the ones which were used for the cannons. You can see the quite a bit longer. We need 2 of them. This is when I hope that this paper doesn't stick to my arm and come flying off the table with all the bits on it, because I don't want to go hunting on my floor for little bits of brass ring and close the box up again. Right, now then, this is the fun part. I'm going to use this thing here in a minute, but first we take a ring. Hope you can see what I'm doing. I've got to try and find the hole in it. Not the hole, the bridge, the gap, which is there. You see, it just flew out my hand. But where did it go? Can't it go far? Okay, let me hunt for it. I'll come back to you. As you can see, if I put the light down too low, the picture blooms a little. Like that, yeah. So, let me see if lowering the camera does any good. I don't know if this will work. I'm taking it away from it. Try that bit there. Still blooming a lot, isn't it? But I can see what I'm doing now. So, I managed to put one ring on and attach it to the crossbar. I haven't sealed it yet, so the other one is here. I have had this on here I think 4 times and it's come off every time. Can you see what I'm trying to do? I've got to be so careful that it's hot in here and I'm sweating, and the danger is if I stick to this paper and I lift my arm, it'll pull the paper and all the little bits will go flying. So using gravity to just get it in the right place. Hope this other one doesn't fall off in the meantime. Get it through there like that. Okay, and then bring it back together. Close it, in other words, before it falls apart. Now, what I'm going to do on each of these rings, to stop them pulling apart again, I'm going to just put a touch of flux and then a touch of solder on each side, right where they join. So I'm going to get my magnifier closer in to see what I'm doing. So I'll do that and I'll come back to you. Now I'm going to close these ones off as well. They're going to get ropes on them, but the other ends of these I have to go on the ship. So and I can't seal them off until I put them in position. Okay, I'll come back to you in a few seconds. Alright, let's see if I can show you. Where's the camera? I have to get to a decent position where you can see what I've done. Okay, I just put a touch of glue on, solder on each of these rings, just here and here. Let me see if I can show you through the magnifier. I've never tried this. Bear with me. Just stops those rings from opening up when you least expect it and dropping everything out, especially since there's going to be some ropes attached to these in a few seconds. Okay, let me work out how I'm going to do the other ends and I'll come back to you. I've got it eventually. I think I'm going to try and show you what I've done. Is you loop this thread around and around and around, and eventually when you think you've got enough, which is about centimetres worth in this case, get off. See, one still wants to undo itself. I think I said to somebody the other day, don't be afraid of doing something like this, it's just patience. Yeah, I don't have any. So, pull this nice and tight, and then you pass it, not through itself. You pass it through that loop that you made a few minutes ago, and then pull it tight. See it getting tighter and tighter as you pull it. Now, this is the fun part. You go back to that one that you tied off, and you pull it through a little bit. And as you pull it, pull both ends, and then spread it out a bit, just like that. And now you've got, he says, a tied off rope. Now, as usual, a spot of glue just to secure it. And this one would be a spot at both ends. You don't want too much on it, because if you do, the rope will go hard, and you want to keep it ropey. Now, what I'm also going to do is put a little bit of rope, a little bit of glue on the tail end of this black rope that's sticking out. Again, a little touch just to stop it all unraveling, like that. Let that set for a second. Now, this bit can be nipped out, as that's already secure. And then this one can be nipped out. And in a few seconds, we'll nip this excess black off here. In fact, that could come out now, because it should have, like that. And there you have one tied up rope through the loop and tied up, just like that. Only got to repeat that about 20 times. Now, where did my bit of black string go? That's done it before already. How hard is it to pick up a piece of string? So, we do the same on the other side. Let me do it and I'll come back to you. You're kind of going to be looking over my shoulder, but we'll do what we can. So, this has to go up in there like that. Make sure it goes goes in. All the hinges get in line, which they are. Pull it down so it's in the right place. And I may have to put my torch on for this. Try threading it without the threader, but I can see the hole. You have to make sure you get the right thread, obviously. Now, if I twisted that 100 times, 99 times I'd get it wrong. So what we'll do is I'll put a little touch of glue on it and let it set a second. That'll make it a lot easier to get through the hole. That's all it takes. Okay, now we'll cut through where I just glued. And you get a neat little piece to thread through. You can see that this rope will be what holds the rudder, or the rudder plate as they call it, in place to stop it sliding off out of its hinges. As if the enemies knew that. Sure, that's a good target for them. Keep picking up the wrong thread. I can't even see if I'll get that in the hole. The needle threader again. Let's try it from here. That doesn't even come out the other side. Make sure that holds. Oh, it does go right through. Let's try the cocktail stick. There seems to have been a blockage in there. And unfortunately the gold ring has come off in my hand. So I'll have to do a little bit of repair before we get onto this. So I'll come back to you guys. Off camera because just a bit tricky to get through, but there's the string right through, and it holds the rudder down, stops it from going up the way. The plate at the top, you'll see where these go in a few minutes. Well, You won't see it till tomorrow, but I'll put it in position. This one goes to the loop up here, and that one goes to the loop up there. It's very difficult to hold the camera and point to things at the same time. You can see these, I've mounted these rings 24 mils in from the side, 24 mils in from the side, in the center, and then this string on this side will go up to that loop, and the one on the side goes up to the other. Let me try and position them. I'm not going to tie them off tonight. If you like what I'm doing, let me just get the camera in position first. If you like what I'm doing, like, share, subscribe, the usual. If you subscribe, you will see the bell icon will come up. When the bell icon comes up, that's the notification icon, and if you click on that, you'll be notified whenever any new video is posted on my channel, which is normally on a Monday and a Thursday evening, i.e. tonight. I should be going and doing some editing when I've stopped playing with these strings. I'm not going to tie them up until tomorrow because it takes me about an hour for each one. And quite frankly, guys, it's been one of those weeks. There we go. They go like that. Try and get them so they're central across the rudder like that. And that's how they'll be tied off. Kind of like that. And they'll be tied at this end the same way as they were at the other end. So what I'm going to do is try and clip them so I've got the tension right, and then we'll get it in the right place. Quite effective, isn't it? Okay, see you on the next one. It's going to fall out.